Good morning, welcome to Breakfast with Sally Nugent and Ben Thompson.
Our headlines today. French boats head for Jersey in a row over fishing rights. 2 Royal Navy ships have been sent to patrol the area.
This is one of many small ports that line the Normandy coast, and about 6 boats have left from here this morning, but they're going to be joined by other boats along their way, and they think by the time they reach Jersey there'll be 50 to 100 small boats.
Up to 40 million people can go to the polls today on what is being billed as Super Thursday.
Good morning from Somerset House in London, where Team GB Olympic and Paralympic athletes are gathering today to collect their official kits, with the Tokyo Games just 78 days away. Meanwhile, across London, Chelsea is celebrating reaching the Champions League final. They made it an all-English affair with a convincing win over Real Madrid last night.
Good morning. We've had some snow showers across Scotland and northern England as we've gone through the course of last night. Through today, the snow level will rise back into the hills. For the rest of the country, it's sunshine and showers when we lose the rain that's currently moving across the English Channel. I'll have all the details coming up.
Good morning. It is Thursday, the 6th of May. Our top story. 2 Royal Navy ships have been sent to Jersey overnight over fears of a possible blockade by French boats in an escalating row over fishing rights.
Around 100 fishing vessels are expected to stage a protest today at the island's main port, St Helier. Our reporter Arina Iyengar has this report.
Choppy waters ahead in Anglo-French relations. One of many French fishing boats setting out for Jersey this morning. They're protesting about difficulties in getting licences to fish around the Channel Islands. It's the latest skirmish in a deepening post-Brexit dispute. All fishing boats are required to have a licence to fish in Jersey's waters. To get one, French boat operators must show a history of fishing in the area. But the French say new additional requirements were added without notice, including new rules about where ships can go, the number of days they can spend at sea, and what machinery can be used. Some French fishermen have threatened to blockade the port of St Helier, though French officials say the protest will be peaceful.
L'Europe, la France a des moyens. C'est inscrit dans l'accord.
Earlier this week, the French maritime minister threatened to cut off the island's electricity. France supplies 95% of Jersey's power through 3 underwater cables.
It's angered the public, most certainly, and we've seen emergency meetings going on tonight at government level to see what can be done. But most certainly our advice to our ministers is to not capitulate.
Downing Street says it wants to see tensions de-escalated, but as a precautionary measure, it has still sent Royal Navy patrol boats HMS Severn and HMS Tamar from Portsmouth to Jersey. Arina Iyengar, BBC News.
Well, the fishing boats that are taking part in today's protests left the Normandy coast in the early hours of this morning. Our Europe correspondent Jean Mackenzie watched some of them go.
This is one of many small ports that line the Normandy coast, and about 6 boats have left from here this morning, but they're going to be joined by other boats along their way, and they think by the time they reach Jersey there'll be 50 to 100 small boats. Now, the fishermen say that they're going to protest peacefully. They've got no plans to blockade the port. They won't even be fishing. They just want to show their presence, to show how upset and angry they are. They didn't see this coming. They didn't think that they were going to have their rights or their ability to fish in Jersey waters impacted by Brexit. They have been fishing in these waters, most of them their whole lives. Many of these fishermen catch more than 50% of their fish from Jersey's waters. Now, under the Brexit deal, they still have the right to fish in Jersey's waters, but now they need licences. They have got their licences back, and they say that there are a whole load of conditions attached to these licences, which mean that they cannot fish as much as they want to or as much as they need to. So it's that they're protesting. They are asking these licences to be reconsidered and to be able to fish more freely like they used to be able to.
Jean Mackenzie there with the latest. And after 7, we'll take you live to St Helier. Our correspondent Robert Hall will be there on board a boat. That's after 7 o'clock. We'll get the latest on that.
Now, millions of people are casting their ballots today in the biggest test of voter opinion since the general election in 2019.
Every seat is up for grabs in the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Senedd, and there's a by-election in Hartlepool. Thousands of council seats in England are being contested, as well as elections for a number of mayors. Well, our political correspondent Helen Catt has the details.
Coronavirus has made today's elections a little different. Polling stations have been set up with safety measures. That means cleaning and screens and one-way systems. There'll be a clean pencil for each voter, or you can bring your own, and you'll be asked to wear a face covering inside. There may also be limits on how many people can go in at once. The outbreak of the pandemic delayed elections which were due to take place last year, so this year there are a bumper set of polls across most of the country. In Scotland, voters will elect the 129 members of the Scottish Parliament. In Wales, all 60 Senedd seats are up for election. In England, voters will choose around 4,650 councillors, 13 mayors and 25 members of the London Assembly. There are also elections for 39 police and crime commissioners across England and Wales. And there is a by-election to pick the new MP for Hartlepool. The polls will be open, as usual, until 10 o'clock tonight. Anyone self-isolating because of coronavirus can nominate someone else to cast their vote. Applications for an emergency proxy, as it's known, can be made until 5 p.m. And if you have a completed postal vote, which didn't make it to the postbox, you can hand it in at your local polling station until 10 p.m. When it comes to counting the results, that's going to take longer than usual too. Different counts are taking place over several days, from tonight until Monday. Helen Catt, BBC News.
A murdered police community officer's dog has been tested for DNA in the hope it provides vital evidence in the hunt for her killer.
53-year-old Julia James had taken her Jack Russell for a walk before her body was found in woodland in Kent. Simon Jones reports.
Julia James walking her dog Toby. She was wearing these clothes apart from the gloves when she was murdered. Her body found close to her house. Her dog unharmed by her side. Police are desperate to hear from anyone who saw Julia or her attacker.
We've got a very considerable forensic strategy, as you would expect. It does include the dog. That is being staged through the laboratories. I'm not in a position, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to give a running commentary on the many exhibits and the forensic strategy that we have underway. But of course, we've considered all opportunities around Toby.
The outpouring of grief in the community continues. The question people are still asking is why.
Until things are a little bit more known, I feel a bit vulnerable, if I'm honest with you.
Whether it's connected, whether because she was a police woman, I don't know, because there was, somebody had a grudge against her or something, or whether it was just purely, random, who knows.
The murder investigation is being led from here at Folkestone Police Station. Officers say it is their #1 priority, and they're currently sifting through hundreds of pieces of information that have been provided by the public. Police have released this map. They're keen to hear from anyone who was in this area on Tuesday last week. Officers are continuing to advise local people to be vigilant and let someone know when they go out. This community, like the police, are desperate for a breakthrough. Simon Jones, BBC News, Folkestone.
Royal Mail are releasing a set of 12 stamps to honour the music legend Sir Paul McCartney. The collection features 8 album covers, which have defined the ex-Beatles career, along with photos of Sir Paul in the recording studio. The stamps will go on sale later this month.
They are brilliant. I love that face he pulled in the very first one.
Little surprised.
Slightly surprised. He may well be quite shocked by this next story I'm about to tell you, Ben.
I think we all are.
A woman from Mali in West Africa has possibly made history after giving birth to 9 babies at once.
It's astonishing, this. Doctors had originally thought that the 25-year-old woman was carrying 7 children, as if 7 wasn't enough. But they were then stunned to deliver 2 more by caesarean section in a hospital in Morocco.
The nonuplets, 5 girls and 4 boys, weigh less than 1 kilo each. And the brilliant news is doctors say they are all doing well.
I love the speeded up footage to get around all 9.
So many.
We'll show you all of them this morning, but congratulations.
What an amazing story. I think they're not entirely sure, but that's probably, they think that's probably the record.
9.
Yeah.
Whew.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.